Hello silly people and welcome back to the channel. My name is Trey and today we are moving into a new phase of the inking season, and this time we are going to use other art as a jumping off point for your own art. And that is, we're going to use the art of Yoshitaka Amano and then reimagine the situation or the pose or something within the art to make something else, something new, using Lore of the Silver Hand as my template, my guide. But before those ink tests, we looked at one of the books I love, The Art of Yoshitaka Amano, Coffin, The Art of Vampire Hunter D. And inside we went over some of the artwork that I think makes this book and Yoshitaka Amano's art so special to me. But we're using 3 illustrations of Yoshitaka Amano's Vampire Hunter D. 1, this will be number 2, will be number 3. This is my favorite, and I want to save it for last. All right, you're using something that exists from an artist that you like, and you're reinterpreting, retranslating with your own flair, style, while incorporating ideas from someone else that you like. So of course, everything starts with a sketch. So I'm doing this in computer with 2 small thumbnails. One of the one that we're doing for this week in computer. And I'm just trying to get the basic form of what I want. The basic idea of the original Yoshitaka Amano Vampire Hunter D is there's the character in the middle. There's a dark, off-kilter Dutch angle darkness that he's standing upon, and that was the basis of what I'm doing right now. So I want the figure in the middle, a fallen character that he's just been defeated, taken out or whatever, and he's reaching up, and then there's a moon above them. And so I think for compositional wise, this is pretty good, where the horizontals and the verticals have some interesting dynamics to it. And I'm fleshing out the character. This is how everything starts. It starts light, loose, and I tinker with it, move it around, adjust angles and anything I can think of. But the idea is to do this as fast as possible and just get the idea out. So once I have the idea in place, this is just a rough sketch, and in an actual illustration you can tinker with it as much as you feel like, but this is a quick sketch, quick ink sketches. We're going for speed more than accuracy. Okay, and now here we have the, I'd say, worked up rough sketch. I will go farther, but this is the idea that I'm going for. Lore standing with sword in hand, unicorn horn sword, over a person on the ground who is reaching up, and we see the moon, and there is fire, and there is smoke, and that's what we're going for. And we're not going for structured or too deeply thought into it. We're trying to keep these as quick, as short and brief. And so once I'm happy with pretty much how it goes, then I print it out, and then I go on to the next step, which is a tighter pencil. This isn't going to be super tight because I can do this over and over again to refine my ideas, but we're trying to keep this brief and moving along fairly quickly. After the sketch is pretty much done, then I transfer what I have to sturdier paper, getting ready for inking. And so then, once it's on the sturdier paper, then it's time to break out the inking tools. So I did the hair before with a natural brush, but since we're going for speed more than anything, I'm using a synthetic brush, and then I switch to Nibs. And this is a process that we've done before in the previous inking season tool tests, but this time we're going for more speed, while also keeping the ideas that we did before in the tool tests. Then once it's pretty much in place, I go to the Copics and Microns, and then after that, it's the Inkwash. Now I want to break up the form so there are the horizontals and the verticals, and then going across from behind is smoke, just to pop out the character of Lore of the Silver Hand. Then after the Inkwash, it's time for the spot blacks. So I'm dipping some of the diluted ink into some slightly diluted ink, and then just putting that on just to make sure this is in place the way I want it before I do the spot blacks, which is pure blacks on top. Then once the figure's in place, then I can work on the fallen character and the background. And then there will be a bunch of touch-ups and details and all of that, but we take it one step at a time. We break it down. We have our process, and now we just do our process the best way we know how. We're trying to get faster and better while also keeping our speed up. So here we have the side-by-side. This is Yoshitaka Amano, Vampire Hunter D. And this is where I got the inspiration from for this. So this influenced this. And it was the pose, sword out, something at his feet. And that was the basis for this, which is Lore, sword out, unicorn sword out, something at his feet, which is a person reaching up to the sky. And we have the moon. So I'm looking for this feel in composition. But a study or an ink sketch is a way to get an idea out as fast as possible. And then what you can do with after is I can take this, do a better drawing, larger paper, and go through the whole technique again, knowing what I know now, to make hopefully what would be a better image. But this is a ink sketch. And so for ink test number 2 will be this one, Yoshitaka Amano. Again, I think this is called Nocturne, Vampire Hunter D, but I like this composition. We have the figure with his arm out, touching another structure, and then we have these bold lines, right? Bold, 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 bold. So we'll take this idea and we'll do something with it next week in next week's ink sketch. So thank you for joining me. I have been Trey Hodges. You can find my work at treyhodges.com. Power to all the creators, and I will see you in next week's video. Take care and keep shining.